The more you explain yourself, the smaller you appear. Not because you're wrong, not because you lack logic, but because power doesn't negotiate its existence. The moment you feel the need to over-clarify your decisions, your boundaries, your silence, you've already shifted the balance. And you know this. You've felt it happen mid-conversation, when you were right, but somehow ended up defending yourself anyway. It happens in subtle places. At work, when you justify why you deserve the promotion. In relationships, when you over-explain why something bothered you. With family, when you carefully construct paragraphs just to validate your choices. You start with one sentence, then another, then examples, then proof, then reassurance. And by the end of it, you're exhausted. Not because the explanation was difficult, but because you unconsciously handed away authority. Most people don't realize this shift is happening, but the room feels it. Think about the last time you over-explained something. You felt the energy change. You could see it in their eyes. The more you spoke, the less seriously they took you. Be honest. You already know someone who never explains themselves. And notice how differently they're treated. You've seen this before. Here's the silent rule. Authority decreases with unnecessary explanation. Not communication. Not clarity. Unnecessary explanation. There's a difference. Confident people clarify once. Insecure people clarify repeatedly. Why? Because explanation is often driven by a hidden fear. The fear of being misunderstood. The fear of being disliked. The fear of losing approval. And when people sense that fear, even subtly, they adjust how they treat you. This isn't about arrogance. It's about perceived certainty. Human psychology is simple. We assign value to what appears internally stable. When someone states a decision calmly and stops talking, we assume they've already processed everything. When someone continues talking after making their point, we assume they're still convincing themselves. That assumption changes power dynamics. Silence signals completion. Over-explaining signals negotiation. And negotiation lowers perceived status. Most people misunderstand this rule. They think, if I just explain better, they'll respect me more. But respect is rarely built through extended justification. It's built through controlled finality. There's also something deeper happening. When you over-explain, you're subconsciously asking for agreement. And agreement is not the same as respect. Agreement can be granted casually. Respect is earned through emotional steadiness. Notice leaders who speak with weight. They don't rush to fill silence. They don't defend every critique. They state. They pause. They move on. The pause does the heavy lifting. Because silence creates psychological gravity. And gravity pulls attention towards certainty. Here's the perspective shift most people miss. Explaining yourself isn't the problem. Explaining yourself to people who have already decided not to understand you is. There's a difference. Clarity is strategic. Overclarity is emotional leakage. One builds authority. The other drains it. This is why you begin observing when you speak beyond your point. Not to become cold. Not to become distant. But to become precise. Say what needs to be said. Then stop. Let discomfort sit in the room. Let misunderstanding exist temporarily. Let people process without chasing their approval. When someone challenges your decision, notice if your body tightens. That tightening is the urge to over-explain. Pause there. Breathe once. Then decide if further words are necessary, or if you're simply protecting your image. You don't need everyone to understand your boundaries. You need them to recognize them. There's a difference. The moment you detach from needing agreement, your tone changes. Your pace slows. Your words shorten. And strangely, people interrupt you less. Because you no longer sound like someone asking for permission. You sound like someone delivering information. The strongest sentence in any conversation is often the shortest one. I've decided. No paragraph after it. No softening. No emotional cushioning. Just presence. You don't become powerful by speaking more. You become powerful by needing to say less. Remember this. When you stop over-explaining, people either rise to meet your clarity or reveal they never respected it. Either way, you gain information. And information is power. Save this. You'll understand it deeper the next time you almost add one more sentence.